So as we ended the previous class on how to find the simplified version of the inverse function, now we're going to tackle some of the example and see. So it is nice to have cosine of arc cosine because composition between the function inverse will be just given as x. But what if it's given in sine of arc cosine x? As we previously discussed, the inverse function now will be considered as an angle. So we always have to treat them as an angle and see if we could manage to put the sine function. It would be always nice to have what? The composition between function and inverse function, right? So it is our effort to convert sine into cosine so that we can use the inverse property, right? The composition between function and inverse function. And in this case, yes, it is possible to change sine into cosine because of the circle identity. So sine x is same as what? Root of 1 minus cosine square x, right? But then the x is preserved as arc cosine x. Good. So square root of what? 1 minus because now we have changed into the composition between the function and the inverse function. So only what comes up? My domain comes up. So it's going to be the square root of 1 minus x squared. Good. And we can talk about the other example. For example, let's talk about the tangent of arc sine x. Right? As we have talked about already, it is always our effort to put the function in terms of the other function so that it's going to be working well with the inverse function given in the angle. Now the inverse function given in the angle is defined to be the arc sine x. Now, so hence, I like to put the tangent x in terms of sine x. And then the simple definition that I can think of for the tangent x to convert into the sine x will be the definition of tangent to be the sine x over sine a over cosine a. So I'm going to put just a as arc sine x for our convenience of calculation. So first part is done. What is the sine a is done. Now it is our aim to convert the cosine in terms of sine so that it's going to cancel out with the composition, which is easy then because we already talked about the possibility to convert from cosine to sine according to the circle identity. So yes, this will be then given as what? Sine of a over square root of 1 minus sine square a, where then the composition between the function and then the inverse function happens. So what only comes out? My domain only comes out. So it's going to be x over square root of 1 minus x squared. So for the next video, we're going to tackle on how this conversion will be used to describe answers very nicely of other topics. We're going to be talking about some integration. Thank you.